Good morning, friends. I'm out here, and I'm going to be grabbing some firewood for myself. Just starting the process of stockpiling up over the course of the summer. And I found kind of a nice little area. Hasn't really been picked through very much at all. And in fact, the last stump looks like it might have been cut about 15 years ago or so. So nobody's really been back here. There's a few sticks of decent sized stuff back here. And it'll do just fine for firewood for me, you know. It's still green, but I'm going to be splitting a bunch of it and just letting it set over the course of the year. And it should be decent enough stuff come this winter. This is going to be the first year that I've actually started to stockpile wood in this form, because normally I was using a wood boiler that took 3-foot sticks. You never split that. So I was buying truckloads of logs to use as firewood. We're still going to have that as a backup, but I'm also going to put a wood stove in the house. And there's going to be one in the bunker too when I end up switching bunkers. So it's going to take a lot of wood. And I figure I'll just start stockpiling now, you know, even if it's an extra year before I get the wood stove installed. That'll just give the split wood that much more time to season. So it'll be a lot drier and put off better heat. So I'm out here. I'm going to throw down 2-3 trees today and cut up some firewood, and probably take me several loads in my little Tacoma, but I'll haul it back to the house. And to me, this is fun day, man. Yeah. All right. So I'm getting ready to head on out there, start cutting. And I figured I'd just show you kind of my go bag setup here. So I'm going to move you over here. Got my felon belt, which I actually have on suspenders here, at least for now. Sometimes I take those suspenders off if I need a little bit more freedom of movement, but not very often. My go bag has all my files, including my raker file there, a couple of parts brushes, an extra scrunch, extra wrench, my extra set of ISO-tune freeze, which I use during my cutting, a couple of pair of cutting goggles, and mosquito repellent. Absolutely necessary up here. Like, holy shit. I'm about to put this on too. This is the best that I've found for me personally. It seems to work much better. Just cutter backwoods. Insect repellent seems to keep the mosquitoes away a lot better. And it even keeps gnats away once the time of year comes where they're coming out. I have a couple of paint markers here for sharpening chains, just to mark the tooth that I start out at. It gives me just kind of real quick visual representation of where I am. A stump vise that I carry with me a lot of times, especially if I'm moving away from the truck. Helmet. I'm going to try out this axe here for pounding wedges. It's one that I showed you in a previous video. I'm going to try that out, see how it works for pounding wedges. Got a 4-inch longer handle than I'm used to, so I may end up tagging the ground with it when it's on my belt. But saw and combi can. This is just a basic generic setup. See if I can get you set here again. I got a couple of teeth on this chain that I have to address here. first I'm going to throw this mosquito repellent on because they're driving me nuts right now. Yeah, I got a couple of teeth here on this saw that I need to touch up. Not 100% sure what happened to them. Now this is one of the chains. See if I can get it zoomed in here. No, it won't zoom. This is one of the chains that I kind of touched up the rakers a little bit. Brought them down. Skip tooth. Where'd that go? Right there. The angle on this is just a little bit off. I don't know if you can see that or not. There. Had to get the gullet too. But yeah, there we go. That's a little better. Looks like I gotta catch the gullet on a few of these actually, but that's the tooth that I was really concerned about for this. So time to gas her up. God, I love these kind of days. Just come out, kind of do my own thing. I don't have to worry about nobody. I don't have to deal with people. Not having to deal with people, that makes my day prime. This is what I use the parts brush for. Just kind of clean off around there when I'm up at the truck anyway. When I'm out in the field, I just use my gloves. But yeah, I love these kind of days, friends. Come out here, just do my own thing. Of course, you know, it is Alaska in the backwoods, so you do need to kind of keep an ear and an eye out for bears. And that's usually not a problem once I fire up, because once you fire up, you're changing your engine pitch a lot. When you're running the saw. So animals tend to stay away most of the time. They don't always. I've had moose walk right up on me while I've been cutting. And I'm like, I turn around and see this great big moose. I'm like, oh shit, what the hell? So I've had them come within 15, 20 feet of me, which by the way is way too close. In case you're curious about that little tidbit of information. And when they're that close, I don't care if you're packing heat. I don't care if you're packing a 500. It don't look anywhere near big enough. You know it is, but it don't look that way. So but yeah, these kind of days are my kind of days, man. After I go home, I'll be, there you go again. When I go home today, I'll be building a couple of doors on the food truck. And, you know, getting things ready to actually finish up on that food truck. It's coming along really nice. I don't remember where I was on my last video when I did the when I explained how I was going about facing the cabinets. I don't remember what stage we were at, but I don't think the floor was in, and there's a bunch of other stuff that I don't think was in, so I'll be showing that a little bit later, either this video or the next one. Had kind of a delay in videos. There were several reasons for that, but I apologize for it nonetheless, no matter what the reasoning is. All right. Let's throw the belt on. Get ready to kick this shit into gear, huh? All right. I may have to find a new way to carry that axe if I decide to keep using it, you know what I mean? Throw in my ISO-Tunes free, which, by the way, they don't sponsor me at all. I just really like these things. Now, I caught hell, actually on Instagram, through the PMs about using these while I'm cutting. Here's a news flash. I don't care what other people think. I do what works for me. So, too bad. Yeah, buddy. Let's get moving. All right. So, friends, here's the deal. This here is one of them I'm going to take today. It's decent size, nothing huge, once I have it bucked up. And I got one that's standing right here behind you now, which is another one that I'm going to lay out. And I'll lay that right across, right next to this foliage here on the side. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, friends. I got that first tree over there limbed and bucked, you know, ready to go. Now I'm going to take this tree here and I want to lay it right next to that other tree that's straight ahead. The other one that I laid down is far enough out, it won't cause any butt jump, so I don't have to worry about that. The worst thing that I have to worry about is if I get too close to that spruce tree, it'll come in contact with the limbs and try to twist it, you know, spin it off the stump. Let's give it a shot. It's off the trail except for the top. Easy to deal with, including the brushes off the trail. So that'll work. I better take care of this stump too. All right, friends. Boy, I've really worked up a sweat. I like it. Part of the reason why this is like my favorite thing to do is just cut. But I'm also processing the wood. I've got everything bucked up. And I've cleaned the limbs up mostly. I gotta bring my pitchfork here so I can finish up the cleanup. Even though that's not required where I am here, I still like to do it more as a common courtesy than anything else, because this is a trail that people can use either to go hunting or come in here and get some wood if they want, you know. So I like to kind of keep the trail cleared out and free of the brush and the slash that I've created, because I don't want somebody to come in here with a wheeler and puncture a tire or anything else. So I decided I'm going to try and split some of this by hand. Normally, if I'm going to split by hand, I wait till winter. When it's cold, this spruce snaps, because especially once it hits about 40 below zero, this stuff, you can use a splitting maul with one hand and split it open, okay? But it's not cold, and I'm not even going to use a splitting maul. I'll set the first one up here. Unfortunately, I don't see any fractures in it. For those of you who watched the last video, or if you follow me on either Facebook or Instagram, you'll recognize this. This is the first one that I refabbed with the red oak wedge. So I'm going to give this a try in this wood. Don't know what it's going to do, because spruce is a really knotty material, okay? It's not straight grained like a lot of the stuff farther south of here. I mean, you saw how many limbs were on this thing. And the more limbs there are, the more knots there are in the wood, because the limbs start from the center and grow out as the tree ages. So, we are going to give this puppy a try. See how it works. I don't even know yet. I've used it on dry stuff, but not this. As soon as I hit, water just spewed out of there, man. Oh. Okay, I see a problem with this one. Same thing, man. Water just pours out of that. Yeah. Splitting this stuff with a regular axe, green, not going to work real well. It will do it, though. It will do it. Not bad, actually. This stuff is hard splitting, so... And I do have this thing sharpened. I mean, all I gotta do with this is just let it drop. No force to it, just follow it down so the handle doesn't get hit. It stakes. That sharp edge gives you penetration, you know what I mean? And once you have the initial penetration where you're actually cutting the wood fiber, then the shape of the axe and the weight of the axe and the force you put into it will split that wood open. A lot of people don't think that that's the truth, that factory mauls actually have the proper idea where it's kind of a blunt edge. That's not true. If that were true, the best wedge or the best splitting maul on the market would not be a Fiskars. They come to a very sharp edge and they're geometrically almost perfect. So they split super easy because they penetrate, they split that wood fiber with the sharp edge, and the geometric shape of the head just allows the wood to slip by and part. So you need a sharp edge, okay? That's just all there is to it. It'll make your life much easier if you have a sharp edge and a geometrically sharp edge. In other words, the cheeks of the maul maintain the same bevel as your point, okay? So right where your sharp leading edge is, if it tapers back at that same angle, then so it kind of does this number, then it'll make your life tons easier. I've had to reshape mauls that I've bought, and it takes hours to do that, by the way. It's not something that is fast. but I've reshaped mauls in the past that I've given away, and they work really well if you have them sharp. Anyway, the other thing that I don't see a lot of people talking about is hydration when you're cutting, okay? Definitely a necessity. If I'm out cutting all day, I'll easily drink 1 gallon to 1.5 gallons of water, and it all comes out the pores, man. You definitely need a shower after a day of this. All right, well, I'm gonna run back to the house. Actually, I'm gonna pitch some of this wood off to the side so I can back down here. And I'm gonna run back to the house real quick, now that I know I can get in here with the truck. And I'll bring the splitter with me, split this stuff up, throw it in the truck, take her home. So I'm gonna run and grab the splitter, friends.